Joe's on, Monty's on, but, yeah, they're in. Those are attending, in the meeting.
I'm just
They're
kidding.
set in the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's only,
Yeah, but they're not. committee members.
Who's committee member? Monty?
Kate,
Joe? Isn't Joe a committee member?
Monty, Greg and I.
Caitlin's a member,
No, she's
Mike's
not.
a member,
Oh, Caitlin's up there, okay,
so there's only 4.
right.
Amy said she's coming.
Need one more.
Kevin said he'd be late. Okay, I've got my recorder on, so everybody use appropriate language. You're muted, Stace.
How do you turn the together mode off?
That one, you have mode there, go on
I'm
to
not staying
go on to
in.
this. Go on to the 3 down.
You figure it out.
There's just you,
You're on your own.
gallery,
Gallery?
up top, no, go up right there.
Okay. We need to get a junior high liaison on this.
Yeah, I know, exactly. The school liaison. Don't you have a technology subcommittee?
All right, we are.
Got Michael and the,
One short.
I got any passes.
One short.
Maybe.
You got 9,
If I need 5 buildings.
you got you, Greg, Caitlin, Michael. Is it Andrew one or no?
Now we need one more.
Is Andrew?
He's on.
He's a principal.
No, the other.
I'm here, but I'm not a member.
What's the other Andrew?
He's not on.
Oh, it's your little plant.
Oh, wait.
the plant is,
Oh, there we go. I didn't see the plan. I just saw.
there's some variance. So we got it for
We got 5.
Let's roll.
All right. All right, you want to hit your record button, Ellen?
Yeah, I already started. Go ahead.
What? You need to
I
tell us.
warned you.
You did one.
You know how to rewind?
You're stuck together, mode.
Yeah. It never ends up good. All right. Today is Thursday, August 5th, 2012, and it's 6:30. I'd like to start the JFK Middle School Building Committee meeting. Some present, some virtual. Ellen, may we have a roll call, please?
Randy Daigle,
Here?
Greg Stritch,
Here,
Scott Copen, Amy Dennis, Caitlin Dunn,
Here.
Todd Kinnon, Kevin Margolfo, Michael Monfort. He's here, I see him. Jeff Oken. Christine DeBonny. Andrew LaPlante.
Here.
Gina Sakala.
Here.
Joe Muller.
Here.
Walter Krizel.
here,
Stacy Thurston.
Here.
Andrew Barrios.
Here.
Chris Cycli.
here,
Samantha DiAgostino.
Here.
Bruce Kellogg.
Here.
Jill Lexi.
Here.
Emily Zarnicki. Amar Shamas,
Here.
Marcus Brennan,
Here.
Nate Gingerella. Thank you.
Andrew Bears, I like the beard.
Summer mode.
Thank you.
Frosted a little bit here. I hadn't shaved mine because it keeps not bringing away.
Thank you, Randy. That was very sweet of you.
All right, did everybody get a chance to review the regular meeting minutes dated July 1st, 2021? And if so, are there any comments or corrections?
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of July 1, 2021 as issued.
Second.
Okay, can, whoever's gonna speak, if they can say their name, if somebody's gonna second, please say your name, it just will help Ellen out when she does the minutes. I'm sorry.
Greg made the motion.
Caitlin Dunn seconded.
Thank you. Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you. Unanimous. We have no committee guests this evening, so we will move right on to the architect's report. We'll start right to the top. Jill.
All right, so I have several things to go through this time. So first things first, the area F floor was sealed. It looks really good. So hopefully that will, we won't have any of those scratching issues that we did last time. Furniture.
Are we gonna get a cost to see what it would cost to do the rest of the building?
Yeah, Stan's working on that right now.
Okay. I wish we had pictures because it came out fabulous.
It looks really
It
nice.
looked better than it was originally installed.
I agree. It looks more like vibrant.
Yeah,
It's really nice.
really nice.
So furniture and technology updates. So with the technology stuff, I'll run through that first. So we've got the classroom monitor installation starting next week. They already have like the wall mounts that are going to support the monitors installed in most of the classroom areas right now. And then we're also getting the Apple TVs and charging stations. They're supposed to be coming in next week. And the Apple TVs are going to be hooked up to the monitors, and the charging stations are for the students' iPads. So a little bit of bad news. We've been having some back order issues, as I think a lot of people are. One is the only thing we have for the classroom space, which is good, is the audio enhancement speakers. So if you remember, those are the speakers that the teacher will have like a little microphone that they can pin to their lapel. And then there's 4 speakers in the room, and it just kind of helps distribute the sound from the teacher so they don't have to yell and all the kids can hear everything correctly. Those are now supposed to ship on 9/1, but most likely they will not be able to get those all installed prior to school starting, so that'll have to get coordinated with after school hours or Saturday. But we already have all the cabling and everything together, so it should be a quick, just install that sort of speaker piece of it. The auditorium and cafeteria projectors are both back ordered, and I think we're still working on a final date for those. I know that we keep kind of getting pushed on the dates. Kind of the same with the gym equipment, but right now the gymnasium is not turning over on the same day as the rest of the areas for the start of school. So, and I think we're fine tuning what that turnover date is going to be. So I'm hopeful that with the technology equipment and some of the other gym equipment, it'll all come in and we'll get that all together. For the furniture, we do have, we're on track for all the classroom furniture. So we should be good with all the classroom spaces day 1. We have all of the cardio equipment installed. And then just found out today, a little bit of a step back, was that the music room furniture is going to be delayed to ship 8/31, which means that, again, most likely will not be able to be installed for start of school September. So the music room furniture, it's a lot of storage stuff, but the big thing that, is going to be an obstacle is that has all of the chairs and the music stands for the students. So we're trying to figure out a temporary provision for that first week of school to make sure that there's something there for the kids. And that's all I have on those pieces. If anybody has any questions.
Bruce, do you have anything to add?
Nope, that covers it.
All right. One quick question. The legs for the tables and the chairs, are we putting any kind of protective piece underneath there?
Yes, for area F, we have the, those glides, kind of like a little boot, with like the felt piece on it. So it's not like the felt pieces that you know, have on your furniture at home, stick and then they come off. This is actually kind of like something that slides over the actual leg of the table. So we will get those for area F when all that furniture comes back in.
Okay. And it's going into the blue wing?
I don't know if it's going into the blue wing.
Yeah, let's put them everywhere.
Okay.
Just another safety net. Anybody have any comments or questions for the architects? We'll move on to the CMR report. Gilbane. Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Normal monthly PowerPoint. So this front screen that I normally have every month, you see on the left the entrance canopy that'll someday be there. We actually finally stood the steel for it this month. So on the right picture there, that's the future entrance canopy. When the kids come back in the fall, it'll have concrete walkway around it, but we won't have the big signage in place yet. That'll be next summer when we do that parking lot. But we're finally getting to a point where that picture is starting to come true. Waiting for the slide to move. It's moved on my screen. There we go. Okay. So this site logistics is what we have for the summer. Everybody's probably familiar with it at this point. If you look at both pictures, you see how much we have under our control from a construction standpoint right now. All the yellow on the right picture is under construction right now in the various phases of construction. As I go to the next page, and it'll pop up at some point, you'll see when the kids come back in the fall, we substantially reduce how much is in construction and we turn over a large portion of this building. So everything in green, when the kids return to school, are finished spaces. On the right picture, the upper left of that yellow box is the gymnasium, which we'll work to finish as quickly as we can in the fall. And then obviously the hub itself, the center, we're going to have temporary corridors that connect the dots, if you will, throughout the building for this school year. Pictures are, the PowerPoint's a little slow today. So site work as we stand right now, this is the north parking lot, obviously the big upper picture. We are in the process of fine grading that subgrade at the moment. Next week, the pavers will show up and we'll be paving binder and top course in that entire parking lot. And we have line striping lined up for the third week of August. So by the time you guys return to school, that'll be a completely new parking lot. The lower right picture is the outdoor classroom area. They're working on putting in, those are pavers that they're putting in right now. That'll be wrapped up in a matter of about a week. And then we have a walkway that goes through that area, which will be turned over for when the kids come back as well. The grass areas won't be planted yet. We'll be working on that through that fall planting season, but the area will be open for use this fall. Start hitting the button before I finish talking.
You found your internet. So.
He jinxed us, right? Big pictures, obviously, I think everybody's familiar with at this point. The auditorium, the siding is finally done. On the red side, we have a few pieces of gray that still have to go underneath that canopy that we're waiting. They're supposed to ship actually tomorrow. They're shipping from Georgia. The canopy itself, you can see the two different colors of the green and the purple parapet wall there, or roof edge wall. That will have still in a temporary condition when the kids come back. That material, that's the metal ceiling, is coming some point in September, but it'll be in a safe condition, and we'll work, all around the school hours to get that canopy buttoned up. Lower left picture is just the opposite view, looking at that area from by the gymnasium.
The 20.
Moving inside the auditorium, the ceiling are complete at this point. The walls are substantially complete. We're working on the back wall or the top of the tiered seating still right now. That'll be wrapped up in the next 2 weeks. We have painted or sealed and painted the floor. You can kind of see it's a more consistent gray for all the areas that go underneath the seating. The seating is going in starting Monday. So in about a week and a half's time, all the seating will be installed. And then we're putting carpeting and the final railings and millwork trim up around the seating areas. Additionally, the stage itself, that wood is showing up Monday. So in about 2 weeks' time, the stage wood floor itself should be complete as well. Moving into the main lobby shortly, going to get there. The left picture is standing just outside the entrance to the auditorium, looking back outside. So that's the curtain wall entrance vestibule that you can see. If you look at the top of that, you also see that same wood product is actually the lobby ceiling, or the same wood product that was in the auditorium of that lobby ceiling. We're still working through installing that in the lobby. In about 2 weeks' time, that'll be wrapped up. The right picture, you can see the display cases and the finished tile work for that area are complete at this point, minus the glass, which we're holding off on putting in until the last minute. The next pictures I included tonight are the kitchen. The kitchen is substantially complete. We were just working through getting systems turned on and getting through DPH inspection. We do have an issue with getting our serving line. So in the right picture, if anybody recognizes it, that's actually the equipment that was in the temp servery we had in the auditorium. So we've set that, we're going to hook that up, and hopefully by the end of August, we'll get a permanent serving line. And we'll swap those out, hopefully just in time for school, but either way, we'll be ready for no matter if we get it or not. Going outside of that area, so this is outside the cafeteria. This is the large outdoor seating area. We just installed the pavers. Tomorrow, the fencing crew is coming back to install the decorative metal fence that goes around that area. And then we'll work through getting that, the landscaping that abuts it tightened up. So this is what we call the yellow wing and the entrance to the yellow wing. So the left picture is standing at the hub, essentially looking at the gymnasium hallway. So it's much wider than it used to be. There's display cases in this hallway on the left as well. The right picture is as you get down, basically the gym is on your left in that picture and the cafeteria is on your right. You can see we're actively flooring that area now, and that'll be wrapped up in the next 2 weeks as well. Going into the gymnasium, all overhead MEPs are done, all painting is done. You can see far in the picture, wood flooring is here. We're waiting for manpower to show up and install that wood flooring. So we have wood flooring and gym equipment still to do in that gymnasium, and that should take us through into early September with both those products and getting the gym completed at some point in early fall for use by the school. Jumping to area G, the white wing, as you can see, we're in very good condition in this wing. Millwork is installed, ceiling pads are dropped. Initial final cleaning pass has already taken place on the second floor. We're hanging market boards at the moment. We have a little bit more millwork trim to install by the lockers in the hallway and the lockers above by the clerestory glass in the classrooms there. And then punch list of space over the next couple of weeks. These pictures are area A, the hub. So the left picture, the month of July, the hub was a bunch of underground trenches with excavation for underground utilities, both plumbing and electrical to connect the dots between the wings. That is all complete and back in place at this point in the hub. itself. The right picture shows you the masonry walls we're building in that hub as well. By the time the kids come back to school in a couple weeks, we'll have all the permanent walls that go up in that hub in place, and we'll have a couple of temporary walls in place as well that allow them to circulate throughout the area. Next pictures are of the old auditorium itself. So inside the auditorium, the slab has been removed, the roof has been completed, and we are doing the underground plumbing for those future tech ed, underground plumbing and electrical for the future tech ed space. That should be wrapped up in the next 2 weeks, and we'll be pouring that slab in the old auditorium by probably the 3rd week in August.
Skylights make a huge difference.
Yeah, oh, good point. So the skylights are also cut in there. You can see the light coming through. There's, I think, 17 skylights total throughout that space.
Makes a huge difference.
So this picture is area H, so red wing, the last 2-story wing. This is a unique shot that you don't often get. So this is what they build inside each classroom in order to abate the marker boards. So you see poly all over the place. The exposed walls you see are where they took down the marker boards and the old glue dabs behind them. It's because they're asbestos, obviously, and it's all done under a negative air tent. And once they clear the tent, they start to break it down. And I caught the picture before they started breaking down the balance of the poly, and that's what happened.
You were holding your breath though.
Yeah, no, I don't go in. So these are just other general status shots of area H. So for the most part, the wing is completely demoed out, everything removed. The right picture is the roof. You can see us putting in all the stanchions and prep for the ductwork. That roof is complete. We're flashing in all those stands at the moment and waiting on that ductwork to show up, which should be in the next couple weeks. And that is it. Any questions on progress or anything in regards to what we're doing on site here?
Very good. Nobody has any questions? Okay. All right, so now we're gonna move on to CSG, the owner's rep.
Okay, so we have a couple things to update you guys on. So like Jill said, we did seal the floors in area F, and I can send you guys the before and after pictures tomorrow as well. And once we get the furniture moved back in, we'll coordinate with GCJ to get the boots, like Jill was saying before, on the bottoms of the tables and chairs in that area. I'm currently working on getting the old kitchen moved into the new kitchen, so that should happen tomorrow. All of the old kitchen equipment, meaning their utensils, pots and pans, things like that, are gonna get moved into the new space. Like Jill mentioned, we have the AV and technology equipment being installed. All of the mounts are up, like she mentioned, and the TV should be installed within the next week or so. In terms of getting moves scheduled, I'm working with the movers and Gilbane and the tool to get all of the teachers belonging into the new spaces. So into the new art and music rooms, into G wing or white wing eventually. So that way everything is all set and in place for when teachers and kids come back in the fall. And then lastly, I've been working with Product Adventure, which is the company that's responsible for the rope and climbing equipment that was in the gym, in order to get that stuff reinstalled so the gym teachers can use that for their curriculum as well. And that's all I have.
Just seeing if you guys, what,
we're gonna submit a reimbursement to the state.
Oh, yep.
In August, we're working with Board of Ed to get that uploaded. So we'll submit in August. It'll be received September.
excellent. Good job. Anybody have any questions? All right, we'll move on to the budget subcommittee. Everything that's gonna be presented tonight was submitted to the budget committee and approved. Anything that was not approved will not be submitted to you guys tonight. So why don't we start off with the ATP, because we have some information on those we gotta go over.
Okay, Mr. Chair, make a motion to approve ATP 111, project safety superintendent. This is a zero value in terms of changing to the GMP. It's only transferring money from the contingency fund to the staffing for the project.
So basically, do you want to explain? You want me to
Sure.
explain?
We need a second.
Yeah, so basically, this is bringing on additional staff to, as the project obviously ramps up, we have, we bring in our safety manager to be on site, obviously to make sure the trades and everybody's behaving and conducting themselves in a safe manner. So we are bringing a superintendent that's gonna be in charge of that requirement. Obviously, we have a bunch of site work outside. And again, as Mr. Stritt indicated, this is just a budget transfer from contingency. It's not an increase to our contract. It's basically within our contract. However, we do not, per our contract, we do not have approval to move that large amount of money. We only limited, I believe, $20,000. And we do have to seek building committee approval in order to move anything above $20,000. That's for contract. So this is more of a formality in case we get audited and we have the actual approval documented, so that way it's compliant with the contract. So we have the individual will be on board in about a couple of weeks, and he'll stay for about approximately 8 months on the job site to support the staff on site.
We need a second, Randy.
Do we have a second? Sorry. Can somebody do a second?
I'll second Mike Montefort.
Thank you. All right, any other discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Unanimous, thank you.
Make a motion to approve ATP 112, RFI number 426, exterior lighting, back boxes, brick repair, $25,370.
Can I get a second?
Second, Monty.
Any discussion?
Basic description is, the exterior of the building had perimeter lighting previously. That lighting was to be demolished, but the drawings did not indicate to fill in the masonry boxes. So this is to remove the electrical box and to fill it in with masonry appropriately so it matches the adjacent condition.
Yes, questions?
Was that the LED lighting from the outside?
Yes, it was.
So those pictures were saved or were they?
Yes, they came together.
Okay.
Then there's some more to come. They've been getting them.
Okay.
Any other question? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 114, gym floor school logo, $5,498.
You have a second?
Second, Monty.
Thank you. Pretty
So just to
self-explanatory.
add the gym floor school logo, this is basically a patriot that will go in the center of the court.
Any questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you. Unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 115, bulletin number 25, technology changes, $8,823.
Second, Monty.
You. Monty.
So this is modifications to the assisted listening system and added cabling for keyboards, both in the music room and area, Blackwell, or now Grayson.
Any other questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 116, bulletin number 24, power to exterior signs and added roof crickets for $50,366.
Second, Monty.
Thank you.
So this is electrical power to the light box signs that are in that first rendering I was showing you at the main entrance, as well as around the other wings of the building as well. So this is the power for that lighting. And then the crickets on the roof, on roofs that we have installed. We've had some storms where the pitch of the old structure isn't quite what it is meant to be, so the water doesn't move as well as it should. So this is adding some roofing material to create that slope in those areas to get the water to the drains.
So there's no standing water for a period of time. Any questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 117, bulletin number 26, site electrical additions, electrical only, $41,195.
Seconded, Caitlin Dunn.
Wow, thank you.
So as everybody knows, we added a flagpole outside the auditorium last month. This is for the electrical portion, for the lighting that will light up that flagpole, as well as this provides power for the new sign that will go at the roadway as well, power and data actually, or conduits for power and data. And that sign structure itself will be in a future ATP, along with some revisions to the exterior coping of that wing as well.
Any questions? Show of hand, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 118, RFI number 448, C106, continuation of existing firewall, $17,672.
Seconded, Caitlin Dunn.
Thank you.
So this is a new firewall that separates the building from a codes perspective by the gymnasium and the cafeteria. The original intent was a new masonry wall would go completely to roof deck. The location of that wall is directly underneath an existing truss for roughly about 80 feet. So we had to build basically a whole soffit assembly to get around that truss and still carry that fire rating all the way to the roof deck.
Any discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ATP 119, irrigation clay infield modification, $71,707.
Need a second?
Second.
Thank
Second,
you.
Monty.
Monty. So let me give you a background on this. So when we started this project, we were in agreement that we weren't going to irrigate the fields because they weren't going to be used initially that much. It was basically for gym and school purpose. Since then, I've been in conversation with the town for several months. They're kind of changing what's happening around town as far as activities. From each area, town's gonna start having stuff. They, like in Parkman, they've added a splash park. One of the things that they want to do is utilize these fields more than initially intended. So with more use, there's gonna be more trampling on such as. So we initially were gonna change the soil to be a high grade soil that really would retain moisture. So it would limit the amount of dying of the grass. The town now wants to use the fields more often and asked if we could do an irrigation system there. So we had the landscape architect and the firm that was doing it come back with different types of soils. So one of the things they're gonna do is the soils that are being used or that are used at Enfield High and Fermi are gonna be the same soil here. And then we're going to put an irrigation system. So now they can use the same chemicals around town to maintain their fields. And hopefully the grass won't. So. Yeah, thank you. All right, can somebody mute themselves? whoever just joined, can you mute? Can you mute them from yours? There we go. Okay, so anyway, so the town asked if it would be possible to irrigate the fields, so now they're gonna get used more often. So that'll lead me to something else, which I'll talk to as soon as we get done with the ATPs and something else they would like to do, but that's what the irrigation is for. There's a credit, but there's an add-on, because now we have a pump system that has to come from the water. We've got to bring lines that underneath the road to the fields and all that. So now the intent is to use the fields a lot more than initially was anticipated 5 years ago when we were designing it. Any questions?
No,
Yes.
but this makes me happy, thank you.
I wasn't gonna say this was all for you, but I knew you would like it. All right, any other questions or comments? All right, have a show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much, unanimous.
Motion to approve ATP 120, Area A, low roof, existing deck replacement, $74,428.
Second, Monty.
So this area A low roof is essentially the hub around the perimeter of the old auditorium. Roughly 30% of that area, we found decking, so the metal decking, the actual structural decking, integrity of the material that was there was all cut up in a previous roof replacement years ago. During the demolition process of the roof, they cut the metal decking significantly and then put the roof back down over it. We had our structural engineer out to look at it, and it was deemed that the decking needs to be replaced. So before we re-roof the area, we have to take up that metal decking and put down new metal decking.
So basically, when you re-roof or build a roof, one of these flat roofs, it's either hot tar fastened together or mechanically fastened. So what they do is they usually have about anywhere from 6 to 9 inches of insulation. And they usually set their blade, if it's 9 inch, they usually set it at 8 3/4. Well, here they did it at 9 1/2. And they cut the metal deck when they replaced the roof 20-some years ago. So now that we're exposing it to put the new system on there, every 2 feet, the metal deck is cut. So they're literally cut between joists, so you can't even walk on them. So it was a safety, but it's an existing condition, and it's just something we need to do. So just to give you a little background on that. Any other questions? I'm sorry. Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Motion to approve ATP 121, upgrade to cast in place sidewalks for all walkways around the building, $126,453.
Can you throw that?
Seconded, Caitlin Dunn.
So this is Marcus is gonna put up on the screen. This is another area that, when we were value engineering this project at the very beginning, we were looking for areas of savings. And a lot of the sidewalks that came from the building, we did it in bituminous, which is what you see, it's the black, it's tar. The problem with that is over years, it starts getting cracks in it. Again, talking with the town, Public Works and everybody, they asked if we can switch these back to concrete. So they got 40 to 50 years out of them instead of hopefully 10. Again, this was value engineered out early on as a safety net. But again, fortunately, we have the funds to put it back in and to do it properly.
This is half the site, obviously, that you see on screen now. So anything in red is being upgraded from bituminous to cast in place concrete.
So it's a better product and it's a longer life. And you all know the sidewalks at Enfield that are bituminous, they're all wavy and, you know, over time, 5 years, you gotta start getting cracks in them and eaves and stuff, so. So that's what this was for. And again, fortunate, we were in a good position to be able to put it back in and not really bother the contingency we have. Are there any other questions? All right, a show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much, unanimous.
That completes all of the ATPs. We'll now move on to invoices. The first invoice is from INTL, Independent Materials Testing Labs, invoice number 4707-L, dated June 30th, 2021, for $5,600.
Seconded, Caitlin Dunn.
Thank you. Again, this is for material testing. It's, we have an allocated certain amount of money for the project. We are almost there. We're gonna sit back and see if we need to increase this, purchase order amount in the town. We previously allocated 100,000, which was kind of just a shot in the dark, not knowing what's there. It's still substantially less than we've done on the other buildings in town, so, we may have to go for another 20, if so, we'll bring it to the table, but this is all part of that, purchase order. Any questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Unanimous, thank you.
Next invoice is for CSG, Construction Solutions Group, invoice number 19, dated June 30th, 2021, for the sum of $32,846.68.
CSG.
Second, Monty.
Do we have a second, I'm sorry? Who seconded it?
It's being recorded too.
Did somebody second it?
Second, Monty.
Thank you. I'll give a quick description.
Yeah, so it's just our standard invoice, it includes the move services that we did, in order to move out of area F, to do the floor sealing. And then, for Thomas Benjamin to come out and, do their inspection.
All right, any other comments or any questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve Gilbane Building Company, application number 22 for the period ending July 31st, 2021, $2,720,790.31.
Seconded, Caitlin Dunn.
Want to go over it?
I don't think I can give a brief description.
All right, it's just standard monthly.
Standard monthly progress in area B, C, and G mostly, and as well as the hub in area H.
All right. Any questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve JCJ Architecture, a partial for invoice number 27 dated June 30th, 2021. At our previous meeting, we excluded $71,653.18 due to documentation issues. Those issues have been resolved, so we are now approving for payment the outstanding $71,653.18.
Seconded, Caitlin Dunn.
All right, any comments? Any discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody, I'm sorry, all in favor, show of hands? Anybody against? All right. Unanimous, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve JCJ Architecture invoice number 28 dated 7/31/2021, $70,189.56.
We're second.
Second, Caitlin.
Any discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain?
Mr. Chairman, that
Much.
concludes all of the ATPs and invoices for approval.
All right. Old business. Nothing we're bringing up at all. New business. Couple of things. So one of the things that we talked about when we had a town meeting with the chief of police, public works, and town manager and all that was, again, the usage of the fields and areas around Enfield. One of the things that did get brought up was the basketball court. Initially, we didn't have any lighting out in the fields or out in the basketball court because it wasn't gonna get used at night. It was by dusk and dawn, and that was it. So we asked if you want a little bit of light out there. We asked the police department, and they said they want either no light or light it, because a little bit of light will give people enough access visually to go out there and do stuff. So one of the things that the Park and Recs asked if we could light the basketball fields, so those could start getting used at night, since we took down the tennis courts here and we don't have a basketball over at Parkman. So that's one of the things that we asked Gilbane and JCJ and CSG to come up with costs, what it would be to light the basketball courts. We are not lighting the fields, but we are lighting the basketball courts. So we're getting some costs on that. Any discussion on that? Okay. I'll let Walter. When, Walter, we came up with a date for doing a presentation.
We're gonna do a presentation on September 14th at 7 PM at our regular Board of Ed meeting.
So we're have to talk to, I don't know, Gina, if you're prepared to give a date when you guys would like to meet for us to do a presentation, or you want to get back to me and we could publicize it then.
I don't get to make those decisions, Randy.
Okay, then I will be in touch with you.
That's above my pay grade.
You get paid?
Yeah, I wish.
All right, I'll get in touch with you and find out who to talk to, and then we can coordinate it.
I can reach out. I mean,
Yeah.
Joe's probably gonna talk to his side. They'll make that decision. I just sit back and look pretty.
Great.
I do too.
You do it better, Joe.
Oh, thanks, Gina. Thank you.
All right, so we'll come up with a date for town council. But what we'd like to do, and I didn't verify it with Gilbane, is we'd like to do a walkthrough with councils and board members on August 25th
26th,
or 6th.
Thursday, August 26th.
I can't do that. 4:30. So let me know either 25th or 26th works for most people. The majority will win. How close is that to when school opens?
School opens on September 7th.
Do we want to do it before or after?
Yeah, I think before, I mean, unless you guys,
Be clean, set out.
I mean, unless you guys will be busy moving,
That's what I'm
Oh,
suggesting.
figure it out and get back to us.
Yeah, just.
Think about it.
If they intend to see a completed set of classrooms, then probably after the furniture is set up and everything is cleaned up is.
All right, so what day is actually school start?
September 7th.
September 7th? Want to do, can we, well, Monday night, they have, you guys have meetings.
Well, Monday's Labor Day, so you don't.
That's
The
true.
next meeting in September.
Can we,
September 2nd is the next meeting.
And
will the furniture be in September 2nd?
furniture should be.
Oh, yeah.
All right, why don't we do September 2nd then at 4:30?
Because the next meeting is October, right?
Right.
Yeah. Sure.
September 2nd
September 2nd.
at 4:30
So that will also be the day of a standard meeting.
of a meeting.
Of
So we
the-
go from there to here,
Yeah, so we do the walkthrough and then come in.
correct?
Meeting.
Yeah.
So you want to have the meeting here in the trailer, or do you want to set it up inside the building? Or you don't know yet?
We don't know yet. I'll touch base on that one. Just let us know. Okay, September 2nd, 4:30. Everything else we've all touched upon, so bring those up. Does anybody have anything else under new business they want to bring up? All right, communication subcommittee.
Yeah, no updates. Everything is going smoothly.
Everybody loves what you guys are posting, I'll tell you that. Every time you post something new, you get a tremendous amount of likes and hits, so great job. Anybody have any questions for communication committee?
Mr. Chairman, with regards to the next meeting of this committee, we are on schedule for August 19th, which is 2 weeks from today. I would recommend that we leave that as is, cancel at the last minute if necessary, and then we will have a meeting on September 2nd, which is already scheduled.
Sounds good. Anybody have any questions on that? Is that okay for now? We can always cancel if need to. All right. Communication committee, communication comments. Committee comments, I'm sorry. Any liaisons or anything?
Nope, thank you.
No, we're good. Thank you, everyone. Great
Keep
job.
going.
Okay. Committee members. Anybody have any good? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, motion to adjourn.
Second, Monty.
Monty, second. All right, all in favor, show of hands. Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much. Thank you all for attending. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
See ya.
Thank you.